We parted the hair. Okay. Can you see good?
Yep.
Okay. We parted the hair. Okay. So, and you're going to take both those fuzzy parts, you're going to put them together. This is the twist and rip. Put those together. Put those together. Okay, so when you're putting it together, you're kind of twisting it at the same time. Okay? So, put those together. And then you're going to have this big rat's nest right here. Like,
Beautiful.
What do we do with that, right? So all these little loops and stuff, you want to smooth those out, because if you don't smooth them out, then you're going to end up doing this dreadlock, and she's going to, like, at the root, and it's just too much. There's a lot going on. So you just kind of want to smooth it out like that. Okay, so before, long time ago, I didn't have a crochet hook. This is how I had to do it when, in places I shouldn't have been. So, anyway, so you keep doing this, and you keep doing this, and keep doing this, and keep doing this. And you keep doing it until you just can't do it no more. Okay? Now, this right here, we're going to do this so everyone can see. Alright, so you want this hair, virgin hair, to not be so blunted at the end. So you're going to kind of taper it out like that. Okay, and if you lose some hair, no big deal. You can add some more. No, it's not a problem. So, we're going to take some of this hair. You kind of want to like put it around. And this thing has a latch hook on it. See that little thing? Can you see it? There it is. There we go. See that little latch hook? That thing closes. Okay? So, you're going to take your hair, or your latch hook, and you're going to put it through. Okay? All you're doing right now is pulling some of this hair through here without ripping her head off. Okay? Without ripping. This is another way to add extensions to a lock that is already matured. And what this does, it just prevents this hook from hurting it, or a regular crochet hook. If you don't know how to use a regular crochet hook, then you're going to hurt your dreadlock if you don't know what you're doing. Okay? I can do this without this latch hook, but that's only because I'm experienced. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, alright. You see these for like those beaded extensions and things like that? Mm. Okay, see how this is just a mess right now? That's what you want. You want this to be like kind of spread it around. All you're doing is mixing these cages together. They've only been in one storm right now, okay? Her cage and my little cage. This is my little madness of a cage, okay? We're throwing it in the storm, all right? So now, it's there, but we still got to be gentle, right? So now, I'm going to take this guy. This is a 0.05, I believe. The smaller the crochet hook, the better. So this is what I'm doing. I'm taking this hair and I'm wrapping it around the mass of the dreadlock, okay? But I'm doing it in like a faster pace. I'm like weaving a basket. And see, now I can't really go nowhere with that. So I stop, twist, and then I start pulling this hair. Pull it, grab, pull it, grab some hair, pull it, grab some hair. Like, I'm talking like barely, like just a few strands, okay? And as I go down, usually I can only do like maybe 3 or 4 things, and then I run out of like hair. So then I want to get rid of this here, you know? Mm-hmm. So I turn it, grab a few strands. And you kind of want to just really pay attention to what you're doing as far as the client goes, because you don't want her to hurt her. So when you're going around the root, that's where you kind of want to be very careful and fragile, you know. Mm-hmm. So you don't really hear any hair ripping. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I was going like this, you're going to hear a lot of ripping. Now, granted, when you're doing dreadlocks, let's all be clear about it. You will have breakage. It's going to happen. It's a natural. It's just the fact of life. So I hate it when people say, oh, she was ripping my hair. I've heard, like, you know, videos or I've heard just stories. Oh, okay. Well, whatever. I'm sorry. Let's just be clear. You're dreadlocking your hair. But really, the last thing you don't want to be rip. And that's where the whole crochet hook, because see, I'm not even really pulling that out. Like, there's no hair to pull. It's in there. Mm-hmm. Okay? So you get to a point where you're actually grabbing hair and pulling it up inside of the dread. Okay? You are just going to turn and keep doing this. And keep doing it. And eventually, you go all the way down. Now, see, there's hair I've missed, which is fine. Because guess what? I got to go all the way down. All of this again. You just keep going. You keep going. And your thumb and your pointer finger is going to be...
raw?
Well, it can if you don't know what you're doing. I mean, I've picked myself a lot. But this right here, you get a feel for the hair.
Okay.
Okay. So, a lot of times, I'm going to show you how to do maintenance. Okay. So, let's pretend that she's come in for maintenance. And she's like, oh my God, my dreadlock's going crazy. I don't know what to do with it, right? Like, she's come in and she looks like this, right? Okay. So, she's got hair here. She's got straggles here. You know, her ends. I mean, she just needs some work, right? Mm-hmm. And her roots are like, just, come on now, right? So, now we need maintenance. So, what we're going to do is we're going to get this as close as we can to the scalp. I'm like literally like going in here and pulling some of this hair because we want it to be in this dreadlock. Now, there are other ways to do roots. With her, I know that I'm going to interlock her roots. So right now, I'm going to leave it like that. And I'll show you how to do that too. So, anyway, so I'm taking all these straggly hairs. Now, she don't have any much right here. So I'm just going to, those hairs ain't that long. So, you see what I did? Mm-hmm. I took some of this hair right here. I can't really wrap it. It's not going to wrap all the way around. So, I'm going to take my hook. I'm going to wrap that hair all the way around that hook. So when I pull that hook through, instead of having a latch hook, I'm going to pull that through her dread, and I'm pulling it in there, okay? Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to do this whole number, just, you know, work it in there. And then I'm just going to do a little twisteroo, and you didn't hear any ripping. You see what I'm saying? So, now, this is the deal. Now you get down here, it's getting real fuzzy. It's getting out of control, right? You guys paying attention? Because you need to learn this. Babe, you're going to have to learn this too. All right. So, you got fuzz. It's driving you crazy. Can't get to your loctician or whatever. Or you're here. So, right? So, you got all this fuzz. Now, catch this. This is your cage, right? Here's your cage. Cage, a web of hair, rather. Okay? So, watch. When I take that and I wrap it, you're kind of going down with it. So as I wrap it, it's grabbing other hair. It's grabbing those. You see what I'm saying? It just keeps going. All that cage has done has continued and continued, and then that hair has continued and continued and continued until I can't wrap anything no more. Okay, so that's where I take my crochet hook, I do my little wrapper reel, and I pull it in. Okay, and when I pull it in, I want to go back in there and kind of like, you know, make sure that sucker ain't coming out. You know, I do a little, you know, dance and a little flip and a flop in there. So that sucker ain't going nowhere. See, a lot of that fuzz went away. Okay? So then you're going to have like your little spots like here and things like that. So all you do is you go back. You just keep doing this. You keep doing this until you are satisfied with your dreadlock. Okay? So a lot of times people get frustrated because they'll do this and they'll be like, oh my God, now the other side is fucked up. You know, like this side of the dreadlock, you did good over here, but then this side is all fucked up because you pulled the hair out. This, you know, so that's where you have to realize there comes a time where you're not going to be pulling that hair out the other side. You're pulling it into the mass of the hair. Okay? So you're literally, you're doing this and you just go through, okay? Okay, it's like, all right. And see, her hair that she dyed and brought in herself, it's like, that's her real hair,
right.
And it's like ombre'd in. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
Like gently. Okay, so now we got the ends here. Now, she likes the frayed ends, right? Yeah. You like the frayed ends. So, some people like the blunted ends. So, since we're going to add some hair to after these are
like
added.
White girl dreads. You gotta have the frayed
Yeah,
ends.
you got to have the frayed ends. Okay. So, some people like those blunted ends. So, we're just going to do, this one here. We're just going to show. Okay. So some people like those blunted ends, all right? So what you do is you mess with it. You mess with it, mess with it, mess with it, mess with it, right? So then we don't like this right here. We want to get rid of it. So we're going to do this, okay? We're going to bend
kind
it
of
in
cage
half.
it back into the rest of it.
And then you're going to go down with the crochet hook. We're going to wrap. And we're going to keep doing this.
Okay.
Okay.
And it kind of pulls it up into.
Mm-hmm. And just make sure you... This is the thing what people have to realize. Your fingers are your everything. Your fingers are your tools. Your fingers are your bulldozer. Your fingers are your tools for your motorcycle shop. Like, they're your tools. Like, you have to have them. So... You always want to make sure that when you're doing this, not only do you want a good crochet hook handle, okay, but you also want to make it easier on yourself and your client, because some clients can't sit here for very long. You know, it hurts their neck. You know, it just depends on what part of the head you're doing. So... And it, you know, a loctician has to take breaks too. You know what I'm saying? Sacco knows, he'll tell you. Like, I'll be like, oh my God, like, you know, dying. Okay, so there's the blunted end. You see? Okay, which we'll add here too. Okay. But that's a blunted end. So basically, you're doing the same thing. So anytime you're doing a dreadlock, you know, twisting and ripping and twisting and ripping, that is like your starting point. The rest of this is creating a cage for the mass of hair, and you're just going to keep going. Now,